Why, hello. It's been a while since I did a live, so I figured I'd jump on it and do a little live real quick because it hasn't been a while. It's been a while since I've done a live, so here I am. Really, the main focus of this live is if you know me, you know my books, my book collection and everything. So I've read this book from front cover to back cover, everything in it. And it's this book right here. Okay? From front cover to back cover. And I have been going through this book and like not taking notes, but here, let me see if I can see, but like going through the book, you know, and making sense of it. So I'm able to make sense of it. Right? So that's what I've been doing, going through this book to make sense of it. Okay, so I've been going through it to make sense of this book. Now this live, I'm gonna go on here because there's just a couple things out of this book that I want to read. But not only that, lay down, baby. So I've been doing a lot of research, right, into all this and into near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, and really been diving deep. I mean, I'm diving deep into God because I've said this before in some of my other videos. If you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. If you don't follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. I don't have very many followers and nothing. I'm not getting paid from none of these social media websites. I wish I was, but I'm not at the moment. But I go by Legend Lost 1990 on TikTok. And I just have a bunch of stuff on there, random stuff and whatnot. But anyways, the reason that I wanted to do this live is because I haven't been on here in a while. And I wanted to read some stuff out of this book. Because if you have known me from my experience, when I had my near-death experience, there was a lot of stuff that was just immediately in my mind and in my soul that I have never had no knowledge of. I've never heard of it, never read about it, never seen it, nothing. And how did it get there? How does one take, like for instance, a memory chip, a saving something to save things on this blank, and you plug it into a computer and then you download information onto it? That's kind of how it was. Like I'm the memory card, and all of a sudden I had stuff that was just downloaded into me, and I've been wondering how that's possible. I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a second, because that actually plays talking aliens. That plays a part in all this. Everything is connected, believe it or not. And I put a post on Facebook the other day. Hold on, I'll read it real quick. I'll read it, and it was like, I have something to say, but I'm afraid. There's a reason why I'm afraid to say it. And it's not that I'm afraid for, well, it's not that I'm afraid for my life, because the body's going to die one day anyways. I already know that. But I know that some people are going to believe me, but Jesus said that no prophet is accepted in his hometown. And a lot of people don't understand why that is. Why a prophet is not accepted in their hometown. Well, it's because of this. I am 32 years old in this body. I have a past for 32 years. People that know me from my hometown and growing up in life knew who I was, how I was, the things that I did. Jump forward to now, where I say certain things that I never have said before. People view you and look at you and judge you from the things that you've done back then, how you used to be, they judge you for that. That's why you will not be accepted in your hometown, because people know you from your past, and they'll refuse to believe that you have changed, that something like that has changed. Okay, that's your new channel. Okay, because I looked for your channel the other day on YouTube, and I don't know how to look up channels. All I know how to do is type it in the search, and it'll bring up videos or whatever, but I couldn't find your channel. But now that I have it on here, I'll be able to subscribe on here. So that's good, I have it. But I wanted to say, I hear hoot owls outside hooting. Hoo 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 hoo. Anyways, but I wanted to say that I believe something. I really believe it. I'm a firm believer in it. But I don't think there's not one person on earth that believes what I believe. I just don't. I don't think there, and everybody has their own journey. I completely understand that, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with people not believing what I believe. Nothing wrong with it. I will never tell you you're wrong. But I hear something, and I feel something. And it is not constant. It fluctuates. Depends on me. My ego and the things in my mind. It depends on me how strong or how weak the signal is. But I believe in a certain thing. Just like my soul is in this body and your soul is in that body, I believe there can be more than one soul in a body. And people, will wonder, well, how is that? How can there be more than one soul in a body? Well, look at possessions, for instance. This is just my simplest explanation for it. Look at possessions. When somebody is possessed by a demon, sometimes it's not just one demon, it's multiple demons. So the same way that multiple demonic spirits can dwell in one body, I believe also pure spirits, multiple, can reside in one body. And how is this? Well, if you look at quantum entanglement and how quantum works, and you know anything about God, whether you want to call him Autumn, you want to call him God, the all, the mind, whatever, everything is connected. Nothing is ever separate. So there is a way to know everything, all knowledge, past, present, and future. There is a way to do it. There is a way to tap into it and to see past things that millions of years ago. There is a way to experience them. Same thing as futures and different dimensions and realities. There is a way to physically experience them. Now, there's a lot of things that I have said and have written about, and in my TikTok videos or on my YouTube videos, there's a lot of things that I have said that as of right now, they're just words and theories. Can I prove they exist? I can't prove they exist, because I don't have an unlimited budget or the connections to some of these people that are in places that can prove these exist. And even if I was, there are some of the things that I have said or experienced that the only way they're going to be able to prove it exists is with time. That's it. I mean, yes, time doesn't exist outside the body. Everything that ever was, is, and will be is there. But as a physical, We experience time simply because of the experience in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Well, that was a moment ago, and then what's in the future, I haven't experienced it yet. But give it time, and you will experience the future, right? So that's how that works. That's the reason time plays a part in everything. And I have listened to a lot of people that they say a lot of things similar to me. But when some of these people are saying some things, now, like I say, I will never tell you you're wrong. But I'm not going to, if there's a book that holds 100 pages, I'm not going to read the first 10 pages and then skip 2 pages and then carry on from there. You'll be lost. You won't have no idea what's going on in the book from there forwards if you skip anything. There are some people in the world that are like that are trying to teach a certain way, but they're skipping a step, or they're not giving enough detail to where if people did do it, they wouldn't harm themselves or open themselves up to things that might not have your best interest. Because believe it or not, like I've said in my last video, people believe in some extraterrestrials are hostile, some extraterrestrials are friendly, but neither one of them can view the same side. They cannot meet in a common ground. And the ones that believe they're friendly say, okay, it is possible that there are some out there that are hostile, and vice versa. That is real. How can you not think that if there are friendly extraterrestrials or friendly spirits, that there is not hostile ones, and vice versa? If you believe all of them are hostile and all spirits are hostile and demonic, how is it that you cannot just think for a second it is possible that there could be friendly ones? There is so much division that's why your eyes are closed. That's why you are staying asleep. That's why you are being a sheep and led. You're not walking your own path. You're not seeking for information because you don't even, you're not following the, listen to God. Just listen to him. Meditate. That is one of the biggest things that I've known. If you might not know, my grandma, she's in the hospital and she has a growth that's in her throat, and they don't know if it's cancer or not yet, but it could be. We're hoping that she comes home Friday. And I mean, it sucks, but I'm worried about more of my own family and my grandma. My grandma's a firm believer in God, so I know that she's tough and she's strong and she knows. But let alone everybody, when they're getting close to death, they do get afraid, because sometimes the question does run through people's heads, no matter what they believe in. What does happen to me after I die? What is about to happen? And sometimes, no matter what you believe in, you're going to question that until you die. Until you die and your soul leaves your body, you're going to question it. I don't question it anymore because I already have died multiple times. Maybe not in this body, but I know that I have died, and I know that I have been reborn. I know that the soul never dies. Energy doesn't die. It just transforms. It moves, shifts. I know that, but a lot of people don't. And even if they believe that, like I say, but there is a way. I believe a lot of things that I've never heard. I mean, I have never heard anyone. I mean, it's possible that it's out there, but just all the research that I've been doing in 3 years, there are things that I have said, there are things that I have written, and things that are in my head that I have never heard no one else say. No one. I've never heard not one person say the things that I have wrote or have said already or that's in my head. I haven't. I haven't yet. And there's one big thing that I am scared to say because of the prophecy that comes behind it. I mean, this is an old ancient prophecy that there's been a bad thing said about. And I no longer view anything as bad. I understand why bad things happen, so therefore I view them as good things because I know it's a learning experience. It's never a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you create it to be a bad thing. You can create bad things to be a positive thing, and in that sense, nothing is ever bad. Everything is all good, always. It's not hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. It's hear all good, speak all good, see all good. It's your reality, your perception of things. And but let me jump into this book because I wanted to read some things out of this book because thrice great Hermes Trismegistus, Thoth the Atlantean. Thoth the Atlantean was in Egypt, and common people worshipped him as a god. Everything that I'm finding, he didn't want people to worship him as a god. They did because of all the things that he said and was able to do. But what I'm finding is that he wanted people to worship God because God is living in him and through him. And that's what I've been saying, is that God lives in you and through you. But you have to let God take control. You're in the passenger seat along for the ride. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, you have the steering wheel. You have the option to take hold of the steering wheel, but you let God guide you. He will guide you. But you have to follow him. You can't sit there and say, well, I'll follow you half of the way and then I'm going to lead the rest of the way. No, it doesn't work like that. That's the whole reason things are being distracted and you're not being able to see with your third eye. You're not being able to see infinity because it's all there. Everything is connected, including extraterrestrials and all that good stuff. Because I know of a lot of different species, including, hold on, I have this one. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. See, I know a lot of people have seen my book collection. So nobody lives here. Me and my ex, we broke up and she left and she took her son. I mean, my son, our son. But this is a book by MUFON, Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. And I mean, it has all the different species that they know about are in this book, right? I mean, it talks about all the species, where they're from, their power and you know, whatever they do. This book talks about it. Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, and it's from MUFON, Mutual UFO Network. And there's some species that I know about that are not in this book. And before my experience, there were some that are in this book that I didn't know about, because I don't have all the answers. They are there, but I still have to question things. That's how I get answers. That's how we get the answer. The answer already exists. But for the answer to exist in reality, we have to answer the question, because the question gives us the work that so we can understand the answer. If somebody just gave you the answer, you wouldn't understand it because you never asked the question, and now you don't have the work to know that's how it works. So the answers already exist, but you have to first ask the question. Quit. But I wanted to read a few things out of this book, just because I understand it, and I live it. I feel like I live the way this book says. And forgive me if I mess up on a word, because I tried to make a video earlier today about this, and there was a few words that I looked them up, the meanings of them, and how to pronounce them, and I eventually said, screw it. I took pictures of it and put it on TikTok. Hold on, no. Not that one anyways. All right. My senses were suspended in mystic sleep, not a weary, full-fledged drowsiness, but an alert, conscious emptiness. Released from my body, I flew with my thoughts, and while I soared, it seemed to me a vast, boundless being called my name. Hermes, what are you looking for? Who are you? I asked. I am the way guide, the supreme mind, the thoughts of God, the one God. I am with you, always and everywhere. I know your desires. Make your questions conscious, and they will be answered. Show me the nature of reality. Bless me with knowledge of God, I begged. Suddenly, everything changed before me. Reality was opened out in a moment. I saw the boundless view. All became dissolved in light, united with one joyous love. Yet the light cast a shadow, grim and terrible, which passing downwards became like restless waters, chaotically tossing forth spume like smoke. And I heard an unspeakable lament, and I'm kind of tired. And where was I? Holy crap, I lost my spot. An inarticulate cry of separation. The light then uttered a word which calmed the chaotic waters. My guide asked, do you understand the secrets of this vision? I am the light, the mind of God, which exists before the chaotic dark waters of potentiality. My calming word is the Son of God, the idea of beautiful order, the harmony of all things with all things. Primal mind is parent of the word, just as in your own experience, your human mind gives birth to speech. They cannot be divided, one from the other. For life is the union of mind and word. Now fix your attention upon the light and become one with it. When he had said this, he looked into me, eye to eye, until trembling I saw and thought limitless power within the light, to form an infinite yet ordered world, and I was amazed. I saw in the darkness of the deep, chaotic water without form, permeated with a subtle, intelligent breath of divine power. God's word fell on the fertile waters, making them pregnant with all forms, ordered by the harmony of the word. The four elements came into being, combining to create the brood of living creatures. The fiery element was articulated, and the constellations of the stars and the gods of the seven heavenly bodies, revolving forever in a celestial circles. The word then leapt up from the elements of nature and reunited with mind the maker, leaving mere matter devoid of intelligence. My guide said, you have perceived the boundless primal idea, which is before the beginning. By God's will, the elements of nature were born as reflections of this primal thought in the waters of potentiality. These are the primal things, the prior things, the first principle of all in the universe. God's word is the creative idea, the supreme limitless power, which nurtures and provides for all the things that through it are created. I have shown you everything. Why do you wait? Write the wisdom you have understood in hieroglyphic characters, carved on stone in the holy sanctuary. Make yourself a spiritual guide to those worthy of your gift of knowledge, so that through you God may save mankind. I was overwhelmed with gratitude to the All-Father who had graced me with the supreme vision. In awe, reverence, I prayed, please never let me fall away from this knowledge of your being, so that I may enlighten those who are in darkness. Then, with his power in me, I began to speak. The Aloft laughed at my words, but others knelt at my feet. I told them to stand and receive the seeds of wisdom which I will sow in you with these teachings. So listen, men of clay. If you do not pay keen attention, my words will fly past you and wing their way back to the source from which they came. There's a reason that I was told to get all these books. There was a reason why I'm drawn to them. All these books that I have, there's a reason that I'm drawn to all of them. And a lot more books I still have to get. Because like he says, I know people are going to look at me, how I look, how I speak, things that I've done, whether they know me or not. People are going to judge me. I know that, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being judged. But I want to help people. I want to help. It's not just people. It's people, but I want to help your soul. And I can, but only if people listen. Only if they're willing. Only if they're willing to take the help. That's the only way I can help. I can't do anything if people are not willing. And it's just hard because I see everybody struggling and they don't have to. The world is hurting, but it don't have to. But through time, people have been so misled, misguided, corrupted, that the world is becoming lost, has become lost. I said this on my original writings before I ever even got any of these books, that a great change is coming. I didn't know when, still don't know when, but a great change is coming. And the world is getting ready to wake up. Souls are getting ready to wake up from their slumber. And that's where everything unites. And when everything unites, there's going to be a massive shift in consciousness. And I've already said that I feel like realities that I've seen are merging into this. Well, and there's a reason for that. And when I seen the reincarnation cycle, and I seen an infinite amounts of Earths, where an infinite amount of this Earth, where everything is exactly the same, and then the one next to it, something so small as that changes in an infinite state, and then the next one to it changes just a little bit more the other way in an infinite state. They keep going. That was the reincarnation cycle, a rebirth cycle to learn. But what I've realized in reality is all these realities are existing right now. Right now, right here, in this moment, they're existing. And everyone in this reality right now is bringing it to existence right now. We all are bringing these realities. Instead of being out there in the reincarnation cycle, they're coming here. Everything is merging into one. And I think that's a whole reason a whole lot more are coming out with this stuff. Because in our ancient past, this wasn't just known by a few thousand or a few hundred or whatever. It was known by entire cultures, entire civilizations. And these cultures and civilizations were able to do things that we as a culture and civilization now cannot do. And there's a reason for that, is because when the great wipeout happened, we restarted and didn't have this knowledge. It was rebirth. It was a rebirth, and we all had the veil pulled on. And then throughout the soul's evolution, ones here on earth have grown, like Hermes Trismegistus. He remembered. And a lot more people are starting to remember and wake up. And it's just hard for me because I see so many people that I care about that struggle, including me. I struggle, but I know why I struggle. I know why I do. And I'm struggling for a reason. There's a reason I'm doing this. But everybody else don't have to. I don't have to. None of us have to. We're choosing to do it. Just like I am. I'm choosing to do this. But I'm choosing to do this because I don't want people to suffer and me to be free. I can't do that. I can't leave people behind just because they're not awake yet. I can't do it. I won't do it. To me, that would be selfish if I did that. And I understand that sometimes people have to leave certain people behind. And when I know there's been a lot of people talk about the spiritual awakenings, when you have them, you lose people, whether they be close friends or even family. You lose people, which I have. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to just, when they leave, just be done with them and call it done, because that's not what I'm being told to do. I'm being called and drawn to every single person that I'm drawn to and that connects to me for a reason. There is a purpose that I'm here and that people are here with me. There's a reason for it. And that reason is there's a lot of people out there who are asleep that the earth is purged before. It has been cleaned before of life several times. And look in a history book. It's going to happen again. But I have no idea when. I don't know when. But I'm trying to get people to realize that when it happens, no matter how bad it may look and feel, do not be afraid of it. It's only because there's so much, I hate to use the word sin, but it's because there's so much sin and corruption and that it's eventually going to have to be cleaned unless people wake up. Unless people wake up and start following God and listen to God, because we know what's right and what's wrong. And when I pick this phone up, yeah, I see the good people. I see good people and I see bad people. But just how everything is connected, it's the whole reason that I don't go to church. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with church, but I don't only see a person on the outside. I can see into you. I can see you. I can feel your secrets. We all have this ability. That's what I'm trying to tell people. We all can do this because God allows it. It's real. But I fear for most of the people because they're not going to believe me until they die. And I hate that it would have to come to that, because you will be reborn in the reincarnation cycle and forget all of it again unless you wake up. And I ain't talking about this woke crap, because I don't even know what that is really, but it's different than what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your soul. Most people just live with their body and their mind. You don't let your soul do anything. You have free will. But I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for something to happen. I don't know what. I don't know what is going to happen yet. But I'm not trying to find out either, because it needs to happen. Whether it, it serves a purpose. No matter how bad it's going to be, it's going to serve a purpose. And believe it or not, there are people that are going to be saved, that are going to be safe. And there's going to, and it sounds, when I know a lot of the stuff I say sounds like the Bible. It sounds just like what's in the Bible. It does. And I have been reading the Bible, several different versions. Almost all the books that I have talk something about God or gods. They all are connected. Everything is connected. And a lot of people have been here already and prophesized bad things coming, horrible things, disasters, which it's already happened in the world. You have matured so much just in the last few months. Don't be so hard on yourself. I have to get that book. Oh, this book is amazing. I read it from front cover to back cover. And matter of fact, there was a part in this book that I read one day that, just because I always read out loud, because it just, to me, it helps me stay focused on what I'm reading. There was a part in this book that I read that opened my channel. It just opened my channel. Just reading these words out loud and speaking them into existence opened my channel for a question that I had. And I automatically had the answer just from reading this book and parts in it. But I tried to go on Jeff Maher's podcast again, and apparently they don't do, I don't know, but apparently they don't do like repeat with guests or whatever. I mean, I didn't know if they did or not, but I had asked his wife, and apparently they don't. But they welcomed me to come on their live on Saturday. On Saturdays they have an open live or whatever, and they offered me to come on there, but it's for, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. 30 minutes don't give me enough time to say what I need to say, because I'm a little bit slow. So, I talk slow. I need more than 30 minutes. But I'm trying to teach this. 15 minutes on Saturdays. Oh, okay. See, I knew it was something like that. I wasn't sure if it was 15 to 30 minutes or what. I heard that a while back, because my mom always watches his show. Really, I'll have to look it up because I don't ever watch them. I've never watched, like I said, I've watched mine with him, but as far as other people's, now I've seen bits and parts of people's, but I've never watched any of his live anything. I haven't. It's just, there's a reason why that I read things that I do and look things up that I do. It's just how people can feel people. Like, you can feel energy that they put off if they're a negative person or they're a positive person. Well, I'm a firm believer in God. And I'm a firm believer in what I am told and what I am shown. I follow it. I do not question it. I do not go against it. I follow everything that I'm told because I can feel it. And there are some people there was one woman that she reached out to me when I did Jeff Mars' podcast. And she reached out to me and was asking about my story. And I was like, well, you didn't, I was just curious. You didn't watch the video? If you did, if that's why you're reaching out to me, then you would already have known my story because I said it on his podcast. And she wanted me to read hers. And I was like, okay, I understand that. So okay, I will if I can eventually. That's what I told her. But I looked her up because I look up everybody, because I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know if you are who you say you are. Because I don't lie about anything. I just don't. If I tell you something, that's the way it is. That's how it is. Now, if what you're doing is different than mine, I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. Like I say, I will never say anybody's wrong. Everybody has their own path, but everything that I say is everything that I have experienced, everything that I feel or have felt or will feel. That's what I say. I say it how it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. I won't lie to make you feel good. I understand the truth hurts, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit there and lie to make somebody feel better. Why lie and create more division and more distraction? The truth is what's needed, not lies, not division, not separation. The truth. That's what's needed. That truth brings clarity. Lies bring blindness. A blind man cannot lead a blind man, or they both will fall in the pit. It takes sight to see where you're going. And truth is what to follow, not lies, not slander, not division, not separation, not hate. The truth and love. That's what you follow. That's what brings, that's what brings positive changes and positive shifts. Negativity brings negative shifts, negative changes. That's not progressing. That is repeating the same corrupt negative cycle. Positivity brings new change, positive change, clean, love. That's what it brings. But this woman, what she was doing is she would research. This is what I was shown. This is what I was told. This woman would research all different people's stories. She would research out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, clairvoyance, channelers. She would research them. And what she was doing is she was claiming to be a channeler and a clairvoyant. And I'm not saying that that's not real, doesn't exist, because of course there are. But what she was doing is she was taking all this research that she has done into people's stories and read in books and read in papers and claiming to be that. And that is not somebody I wanted to have anything to do with. It's just not. I'm. You can't pretend to be that, especially if you are who you say you are, and that is really who you are. Then you can already know. You should already know what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, because I already know what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now I understand that serves a purpose. Even that serves a purpose in whoever in her life, and whoever comes into contact with her. She's there to serve a purpose, believe it or not. And it's just, I'm going forward. I'm not going backward. But every step that I take and I encounter whoever I encounter, I'm going to take everyone that wants to come with me. Whoever wants to come, you are coming with me. The Bible has been on my mind so strong lately. And it's not even just the King James Bible, because I study a lot of different Bibles. I study the Hebrew Bible. I study the Quran, several different King James versions, the Ethiopian Bible, the Tonka, or however you say it. I study every, not just Bible text, but every ancient text when it comes to Buddhism, Hinduism, Islamic, Judaism, all of it. I study it. And I cannot be the only one who has noticed the massive amount of similarity in all these religions when it comes to God. I cannot be the only one. I cannot be the only one that has realized that every single one of these cultures talk about the exact same thing. Yeah, see that? I don't know. Ever since I got it that word, that's just how Tonica, that's how I pronounced it. I don't know. I just pronounced it like that. Maybe I shouldn't. But I have all of them. And the ones that I don't have, I Google them online or whatever. Now, I would like to have book versions of them, and will eventually have book versions of them. But for now, the ones that I don't have, I do research on. And there's one book that I'm really interested in getting, and it's called the Hearth Book. And you probably have seen this book. But there's a reason why that I get all these books. It's because there's a lot of things that I have said and will say that when people hear me and they watch my videos or whatever, well, whether you know me or don't know me, but you judge me on what I look like, how I sound, and everything like that. Yes, Greek, because Greeks, that's actually where thrice great Hermes is Greek. Thoth the Atlantean is the Egyptian god. And then Hermes, not Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great Hermes was a sage for Greek, I think. I could be wrong on that. But the Greeks have attributed Thoth the Atlantean with their god, with Hermes Trismegistus. They said that the same soul reincarnated. So that actually connects with it, because look at the Roman the Greek gods. 12 gods pop up a lot of places, and some way more than 12. And if you Google how many religions there are, I think it says there's over 100,000 different religions. And as far as gods, there's probably, I can't remember exactly what it said, around 10,000 different gods or something for all these different religions or something like that. Hold on, I'll look it up real quick. Just because I'm curious. I can't, I've already looked this up before, but I can't exactly remember it offhand. But 12 gods show up in a lot of different religions all over the planet. See, if you look it up, it says at least 18,000 different gods between various animals or objects has been worshipped by humans through spirituality or religion. And yeah, but it's just, to me, religion created division. It did. It wasn't meant to, but it did. Over time, words have been twisted, minds have been shrunk, and people have been distracted, including me. But yes, the Greeks, the Greek gods, because I think the Roman gods and Greek gods, I think were like the same thing. I think maybe a little bit different, worded different, name different. I can't really remember. It's been a long time since I looked it up. I could if I thought about it long enough. Better not fart. But a lot of them have 12. And I recently read 3 different books of Enoch. The Ethiopian version, and the Ethiopian version, the Slavic version, and I think the Hebrew version, if I'm not mistaken. I read them. And man, in the Bible, when it comes to Noah's flood, it says that, well, I don't really know if it says this in the Bible, but before I've heard this, I've heard it said that God sent a flood to kill everything on earth because of the sin, right? Well, fallen angels, the Nephilim, giants. Apparently it was because when the angels came down, was kicked out, they fell in love with women, and they bred with women and had giants. And that God sent the flood to wipe them off the earth. It wasn't to kill humans. It wasn't for that. It was to get rid of not only the sin, but all the things that were going bad, going wrong, that wasn't supposed to happen. But let alone, if it wasn't supposed to happen, then it wouldn't happen. So it was supposed to happen. There's reason for everything. Everything plays a role, good or bad. Everything has its purpose. In the grand scheme of things, everything serves a purpose. So, and my grandma, I went over there a while back and was talking to her, and we was talking about the Bible. We was, sit there. She's old school, very old school. And she was sitting there talking to me, and, because my cousin, he does meditations and stuff like that. He tries to have out-of-body experiences and astral projection and stuff like that. And I wasn't sure what all my grandma actually believed in, being a heavy, into the Bible and word for word what the Bible says. Do you have the Greek? If not, I'll send it to you if you want. It's basically the Old Testament written by Greek writer. I do not have it. I do not have it. Actually, I want it. I have it saved on my Amazon cart. I think a couple different versions from. Like I said, I have multiple of the same book, but just produced by different publishers or written by different authors. I have multiple different versions of things, and there's a reason for that, because I like to compare everything. And that's what the Bible is telling me, and that's what God is telling me. It's telling me, and God is telling me that there's been so many variations of everything written that it's hard to, it can be confusing and misleading for a lot of people. So what I'm supposed to do is tear everything apart and get it into one book. That's why I started the book series. Is because everything from everywhere, all over the planet, from past up until even future events, needs to be written one way. Now, am I saying this is the right way? It might not be for everybody. There could be something. There's something in every one of these books for each individual person. But what I'm writing will be everything, all these books that I'm getting dissected, went through front cover to back cover, and then I will write them down in the way that I've dissected them all. And just there's just some things that I believe that I'm scared to say. I'm scared to say them because I already know what people are going to say. I already know how I'm going to be viewed. I already know what's going to happen. And eventually I will say it. Eventually. But I'm not, I can't yet. The time is not right for me to say it yet. Because not only because it's just not the right time, but because of prophecy. It's just not the right time. It's not. And it eventually will be. No, but I don't have it, and I'll send you my information on here so you can, if you want to. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, I'm going through everything and going to eventually write these books. I've started on 3 of them. It's a book series called A Soul Story. And I have the first 3 books. And the first one is called The Introduction. And it's the introduction of God. That's what it is. The introduction of God into everything. The second one is The Reason. And it's about the reason why things happen, including the veil that gets pulled over our eyes in reincarnation. It's about the growth of the soul, the spiritual journey of the soul. And the third one is the 13th remains unknown. And like I say, there's been a lot of 12 disciples, 12 apostles, 12 gods. This number shows up a lot in a lot of different cultures throughout thousands and thousands of years on this planet. And the 13th remains anonymous is because the 13th is God. But he remains anonymous because you're supposed to make a decision with your free will. That's the reason he remains anonymous to you, is because there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why he remains anonymous, and don't just jump out in front of you and say, hey, look at me. You were created with free will to follow a destiny. And we're all meant to come back home eventually. Some I mean, it's happening a lot more. Some are coming to the realization that they have been dead and are still alive. Near-death experiences, look at them. They've clinically been pronounced dead or even come very close to death, which is what I thought a near-death experience was when I had mine. I thought that's what a near-death experience was, is that you didn't die, you was very close to death. But some of these people are calling near-death experiences where they're actually dead, no heartbeat, no pulse, and they're calling that near-death. To me, that's a death experience. Your body's dead, clinically dead. Yeah, you came back, but to me, that's not a near-death experience. That is a death experience. Near-death is when the body is near dying. It's dying. It's not dead, it's dying. But to me, when your body is dead, clinically dead, that is a death experience. It is possible for your heart to stop, brain activity to stop, and for the body to be dead, but be resuscitated. Matter of fact, it's been shown in ancient cultures that they used to do a similar thing to this, where they would stop the heart on purpose. It's even done now and has been done since I think the 40s or 50s in science labs, where they would stop people's hearts on purpose and to see what happens when they revived them, to see what they say, because they were very into this type of thing. Okay, I'll let you know for sure. Thank you. But and give me some subjects to talk about on here. I want some subjects. I have all these subjects. I need to go down this list. I have this list right here of all these different. I don't know if all these different things to talk about on here, and maybe I need to start going through this. And this is actually one of my books right here on this. But I need to start going through this and talking about it, because I have. I mean, I have a little bit of everything on here. And I got to talk to one of my friends. He messaged me right after I had my experience, and something about what he sent me, it was his theory of the hyperbolic string theory. And before my experience, I wouldn't have been able to even read this. But when he sent it to me, I was immediately just drawn to it and could understand everything in it. And it calmed me down, because when I first had my experience, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was going crazy. I wanted to go to the mental institution, because it was very overwhelming. It was very overwhelming to have all this flooded knowledge, flooded information into my medulla oblongata and not understand how this just happened. What is this? What do you mean? How have I never heard of quantum mechanics, and all of a sudden I can understand the operatings of it? I don't know. And when I talk about some things, like I talk about them, but the answer is there, and I can feel it, but it's almost like I have to ask the question first to be able to talk about it and know about it. And sometimes that's what helps me when other people ask me questions. That's why I'm all in. I'm all open for people asking me questions, because that's how I get the answers. And that's how I'm able to release them, is when somebody asks me the question, but it has to be initiated. The question has to be initiated for the answer to be released. I can't just have it. I mean, it's there. Even I would have to ask the question. But sometimes I'm just asking questions for me. But I need to get on here one day and talk about that. But that's going to be it for this live. I just wanted to get on here and read that real quick. And if you don't have a TikTok, get a TikTok. Follow me on TikTok, because I post all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Stuff I read, or stuff I've recorded from other things. Like I have a lot of stuff on there that I'm in the process of resharing, that is about Dr. Stephen Greer and CE5 Contact and the Disclosure Project, the Cosmic Hoax, Unacknowledgement, and all that. I'm reposting on there, because the first time I posted it, I didn't get very many views because I posted them back to back to back. So now I'm going back and posting one at a time to get more views to reach more people. But that's it for this video. I know it wasn't much, and I look forward to coming on your channel and talking about the extraterrestrials. And I actually did, I think I said this on one of my last videos, I actually did a similar to a CE5 contact, because Dr. Stephen Greer, he says, you know, the bigger the group and everything, meditation, the more experience you have. I actually did one in my front yard right after reading that, a similar method to his, but I tried something different. I tried a different method, something that came to me. I tried something that came to me, and I seen it looked like a shadow, but it was in the shape of a boomerang, no lights, and it was almost like when he says they materialize and dematerialize, it's like it was trying to do that, like it was trying to materialize into solid form, but couldn't materialize completely. But it looked like it was the shape of a boomerang, and no noise, no smoke, no lights, nothing, and it just flew right over me. And that was pretty cool. I had chill bumps when I seen it, and my mom was outside. She was on the porch, and I you know, as soon as it flew over, I said, "Holy crap, I can't believe that." And she didn't see it, of course, but I've been wanting to try that again. But there's still some things that personally I have to work on too, and that I'm trying to work on and get better with. And I'm constantly, like right now, I'm here by myself, and have been here by myself, because like I say, me and my ex, we're not together anymore. She moved out. My son lives with her. I get him on the weekends. And my mom, with my grandma in the hospital, she's staying with her and at her house taking care of her dog. So it's just me and my dog here. And yeah, I'm just taking it one step at a time. I'm riding this wave. That's all I can do right now. I'm trying to go back to work for my old boss, but right now they're out of work too. He's construction, doing framing, so maybe I can go back with him. He already told me I could, but like I say, they just don't have no work at the moment. And everything piled up on me from way back when, even before I had my experience. Car breaking down, driver license expired, warrants for my arrest, so I can't renew my driver's license. It's just everything piled up, and the way we are as a civilization, where everything costs money, I am stuck. And at the moment, I'm stuck, but I'm trying to find a way out of it. And I do have, like I said in my last video, I do have theories, and they are beginning to work. But how time affects us, it's going slowly. But I'm trying to speed it up, because I believe in that thing. I believe you can speed time up or slow time down. I'm a firm believer in that. But that's it for this video. I know I kind of rambled on a lot in this video. Didn't go over a lot of good details or anything. But comment on it and leave me whatever you want me to talk about, next subject. Matter of fact, probably in the next couple days or something, I'll go through this and see. I'll probably just go down the list, start on the top of it, whatever I have on the top of it, which just so happens to be something you would probably be interested in. Skinwalker Ranch, curses, shapeshifters, UAPs, and portals. I'll go into that because, oh boy, do I have all kinds of knowledge about Skinwalker Ranch and curses and shapeshifters and UAPs and portals. And there's a lot of things that I have that are theories that it could be proven to be fact while I'm alive in this body, but I know there's a lot of the things that I say that are not going to be proven fact until after this body is dead. I know that, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it just being a theory, even though I'm not going to get to experience it here in this reality, because I know that I will experience it somewhere else, because I know that it's real and does exist. So until next time, I love you. God bless you. And have a wonderful night or day. Bye.